Sweet Lullaby, scientists uncover how herpes virus sleeps and wakes. Viruses are tricky beasts. Some of these submicroscopic pathogens can go to sleep inside a person's body, essentially hiding from the immune system indefinitely, only to reactivate and cause illness later. Now, scientists have learned how to prevent one type of virus, the herpes virus, from slipping into its sleep-like dormant phase and out of sight. This is a major step in understanding the virus's unique ability to essentially hide from the immune system, the scientists say. More than 80% of the world's population is infected with herpes simplex virus, HSV, according to the World Health Organization, which includes HSV-1, which causes cold sores, and HSV-2, which causes genital warts. But most people who are infected with the virus have no symptoms until something external, stress, illness, or even sunlight, for example, triggers the virus to wake up and start replicating and spreading. This, in turn, prompts the immune system to attack the virus, resulting in inflammation and the characteristic blisters around the mouth, lips, nose, or genitals. It's during this reactivation that the virus can spread from person to person. The 9 deadliest viruses on Earth, unlike viruses such as those that cause the common cold or the flu, the herpes virus usually quickly enters a latent, or dormant, mode, in the human body. Scientists have tried to study this process. But in a laboratory setting, they have had difficulty placing the live virus to sleep without extreme and harmful measures, akin to clubbing your subject into an unconscious state and hoping it wakes up normally. Now, in the first of 2 advances, scientists at Princeton University have developed a laboratory technique that more naturally induces the herpes virus into a latent mode, as gently as a lullaby, allowing them to better simulate the natural life cycle of the herpes virus. The same group of researchers then used this technique to find a key set of proteins involved in the virus's tendency to sleep and wake. The findings were published yesterday, October 27, in the journal PLOS Pathogens. Sleeping viruses, viruses that don't quickly go into hiding, are easier for the immune system to find and kill. But this is not the case for the herpes viruses, which stay with you for life. These viruses are part of a subfamily of the virus called alpha herpes virinae, which is known to infect and then hide in nerve cells. The immune system has learned to treat these viruses with kid gloves, because immune cells can't outright kill these herpes viruses without killing the nerve cells that serve as a host. Usually, killing a virus infection by the immune system involves killing the infected cells, said senior study author Lynn Enquist, a professor in molecular biology at Princeton University. But in this case, these cells would be the nerve cells that are irreplaceable. So, putting the virus to sleep is a better and more protective way for the nervous system. A major question about herpes, however, is although the virus can sometimes cause symptoms immediately, why, most of the time, does it go into hiding right away? The answer would reveal better ways to control infections. Escape from silencing. To get to the heart of the issue, what causes the natural virus to stay awake and escape from silencing, as the researchers described it, the scientists used a type of herpes virus called Herpes virus, which is closely related to HSV-1. The researchers' first step was to develop a method that would essentially put the virus to sleep in infected nerve cells. The technique involved using a novel 3-chamber environment in which the nerve cell's nucleus and its dendricle-like axon structures are isolated. Then, the researchers focused on how to wake the virus up. They discovered 2 ways to do so, with chemical stress signals present at the time the virus enters the cells, as expected, or in the presence of a cluster of proteins called viral tegument proteins, a new concept. Further analysis ruled out a hypothesis that perhaps it's the size of the viral load, or the amount of virus in a person's system, that somehow overrides the typical immune response to let the viruses sleep. Rather, the researchers found that the viral tegument proteins alone were the key trigger, acting like a splash of ice water on the face of the viruses, waking them up or otherwise keeping them awake and active. The question we and others are working on now is to determine if this approach for waking viruses up in the lab is the same as what goes on naturally in the immune system when a virus wakes up, Inquest told Live Science. We think there is a lot in common. Tiny and nasty, images of things that make us sick. The Princeton researchers' technique represents an important advancement in studying the virus latency cycle and controlling infections, said Felicia Goodrum Sterling, an immunologist at the University of Arizona Cancer Center, who was not involved in the research. In understanding herpes virus latency, model systems are everything, Goodrum Sterling said. This is the first model system that does not require drug treatment to put viruses to sleep. A better understanding of this mechanism, the researchers said, may lead to a class of drugs that could target viral tegument proteins to prevent them from waking up viruses or keeping them awake, thus preventing symptoms and the spreading of the virus to other people. Follow Christopher Wanjek at Wanjek for daily tweets on health and science with a humorous edge. Wanjek is the author of Food at Work and Bad Medicine. His column, Bad Medicine, appears regularly on Live Science.